Hey Zack Attack Nation, welcome to my review of When Evil Lurks, a new Argentina Spanish horror film in limited theaters but debuting on Shudder October 27th. Is this another run-of-the-mill horror possession film or something else? Let's attack it. The story finds two farming brothers stuck in a royal town as a demonic presence is starting to affect its residents. The movie just jumps right into it. A lot of horror films, especially American ones, they like to take their time, show you people eating breakfast, living their life, going to work, but this one jumps right into it. They're in their house, they hear a murder or some gunshots a farm over and go to inspect it and trying to figure out what's going out. And they find a body chopped in half. And that's where the movie just starts with the gore. This movie is super gory and super gnarly, and it really shows you right in the first couple minutes what you're in store for.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
As the film progresses, it just keeps building and building and building the tension, and it reminds me of like one of those zombie infected films where everybody's scared about being infected by this airborne virus mixed with a possession film, which is a unique, fresh take on the genre. Instead of having a Ouija board or stupid kids finding a book, this movie explains the possession like a virus. It feels like COVID. It feels like any viral thing that you can get, and there's a lot of lore built behind it. This is something that they built a lot of the Spanish culture around, and you can feel that everyone in this town knows what this is. They even call the people the possessed, and sometimes people said they've seen it. They have rules of engagement on what you're supposed to do with it. So this feels like something that's already built into the world and feels unique to this movie. One of the refreshing things in this film, because a lot of films when zombie apocalypses are going on or any horror thing, the characters are trying to be heroes. In this one, they did the right thing. As soon as they found out some crap was going on, they were like, nope, let's get out of here. It wasn't even a thought. It was just trying to get out. They said, let's leave everything in the house, burn your clothes, let's get in the car and get the hell out of here so we do not get into this mess. And as they try to do that, things are just stopping them from getting from point A to B as this thing starts to infect more and more people. This movie is gory, like I said, but it's also mean-spirited. There's not a lot of hope. It's a lot of dread. It's a lot of sadness. And I noticed this in foreign horror films. Like in American horror films, there's certain rules of engagement that we have. Kids are usually safe for the most part. Old people usually are safe for the most part. And things like that. You expect like teenagers and people from 25 and 40 to get hurt, and everybody outside of that range is usually not in the movie or safe. But in foreign films, they don't care. Everybody's up for grabs. No one is safe.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a particular scene here with a dog. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And a little girl, and the way the scene was set up, I was like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen. The dog's probably going to attack the girl, and they're going to go, oh my God, and stuff like that. But the way it was portrayed and how it was showed, I was in utter shock. The gore in this film, the violence in this film is one of the most violent films I've seen in a long time. If you've seen No Evil Speaks, or Speak No Evil, sorry, and you thought that movie was shocking, this makes that look like Paw Patrol. Because there's certain things and certain extents that these characters go through to just try to stop this demonic presence from spreading, especially in the beginning of the film when it starts happening. They seeing the signs and something that happens to a particular family, what they do to themselves. I was like, oh my God. Damn! It was so gory and so realistic that I was like, how did they fake this? What magic, what movie magic did they do? And I haven't had that feeling in a long time, which gave this movie a little bit of a special feeling. And to double down and make it worse or make it better, you know, depending on how you like your horror, the practical effects are top notch. This movie doesn't look super duper uber expensive. It doesn't look cheap either, but it's not like a top tier, had a big budget film. But the practical effects, especially for the first possessed person, and it was festering. He looked like Jabba the Hutt. I'm not gonna lie, and it was gross. And that particular character was so weird and funny and disgusting. The pus and it was just everything they did with the makeup, the practical effects, the suits that the possessed were wearing, and everything with that was pitch perfect. It was disgusting, it was horrifying, and it just brought this eerie sense of dread and like, oh my God, this thing is coming at every corner. And the kills are brutal. I know I keep talking about, I want to stress it. If you're going to go into this movie, they are brutal. They do not cut away. They show you everything. And the way they invest you into the story of the family and everything that's going on and showing you the dynamics of who's being possessed and what's happening and the main characters, you know, they're trying to get out of this town, but they're trying to get their family first and then escape. And then there's drama between everyone. You get so invested and wrap up in it. And then when the violence happens, you're like, oh, I forgot what this movie was about. And it's a shock to your system. This movie was doing really well with the mystery, the pacing, the eeriness, the intense feeling of the film until the third act. It comes to like almost a screeching halt once we find out what's going on and all the rules and how to maybe stop everything. It's a lot of repetitive conversation, and I was just really confused. Like, a certain character gets introduced and I liked her at first, and then all of a sudden just everything stopped and all the violence kind of went away. It was just really weird decision where you think it's going to ramp up in the third act. It kind of slows down. And on top of that, there's a character decision by one of the main characters in the third act that almost took me completely out of the film, because I was like, what? Why would they do this? Why are you doing this? Why? And luckily this moment led to something awesome. One of the coolest moments in the film, one of the gnarliest moments I've seen in a horror film, one of the most chilling moments I've seen in a horror film in a long time. So I kind of forgave it, but I still, when I reflect back, I'm like, that makes no sense, especially when we've been given rules of engagement throughout this whole movie and you spent so much of the third act explaining stuff. So that took me up a little bit out of the film and kind of was a little bit of Debbie Downer, and then it turned into this awesome moment. I was like, okay, well, I guess if you made a stupid decision to lead to this awesome moment, I can forgive you, but it still was like, what?
What?
With so many demonic and possession films coming out every single year, we've already had 3 before this film that came out, and maybe even more that I'd never seen. But something like Talk to Me, which was an A24 film that felt fresh and it came from Australia, and now this movie, which is another possession film, but it's coming from Argentina. I think that these foreign filmmakers are finding ways to infuse their culture in it to give you some new, fresh takes on stuff and stuff that feels really scary, like The Exorcist for the new generation, I would say, because of how realistic it feels like it could be happening. And I think that's the biggest compliment I could give to this film, is that it feels like something that could happen because the nods to viral infection, the nods to certain cultural aspects. So I really enjoyed this film, despite the third act kind of almost falling off a cliff. I think overall the movie's mystery and the violence and the investment I had in the characters made this a great movie to watch, and I'm excited for other people to check it out so I can discuss it. So with that said, I'm going to give When Evil Lurks a B. So Zack Attack Nation, if you got a chance to check it out in theaters, did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? And if you're watching this after it came out on Shudder, how did you feel about it? And based on my review, if you have not seen it before, even heard about the movie before, will you go check it out? Let me know all those things in the comments down below. Hit that like button. Let YouTube know you like my review to get this video popping. And you want to know how to join the Zack Attack Nation? Attack that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you notify my reviews, reactions, live discussions, and join this growing community. And you can watch more of my content right now.